Welcome back. We continue following breaking news right now at 3 o'clock. We have been following this news of a crane collapse, and we've learned that there are 4 people who were transported to a nearby hospital for minor injuries. But certainly this is a very active scene still under investigation in Midtown.
Let's head out to Atlanta News first. Chelsea Beimfor, she's gathering more information. I know, Chelsea, you got kind of a briefing from fire officials there. What else have you learned?
We did, and we know those 4 people were taken to Grady with minor injuries, but now the worry is they're checking this building to make sure it's structurally sound. So in the meantime, this is the building they're checking. They've evacuated a nearby apartment complex. They didn't tell us the name of it, but we do know some residents have been asked to evacuate as engineers make sure that this place is safe. They don't want any more collapses to happen. They don't want anyone else to get hurt in this area. Officials tell us they were initially called to this area of Midtown this afternoon because residents were reporting a fire. When they got here, they realized it was just dust that they were seeing from that partial building collapse here on in the area of Spring Street and West Peachtree. The fire department told us that that partial collapse happened around floors 9 or 10 of this building, which is set to be a condominium complex. So right now, what you're seeing still are several fire trucks in this area, construction workers that are walking around, police who have this area taped off. Firefighters tell us this area of Midtown around Spring Street, West Peachtree, it's going to be closed for the next several hours. They said engineers were on the way again to check the structural integrity of this building and make sure that nothing worse is going to happen. So if you can avoid this area, do so, or try to find an alternate way home. Guys, back to you.
Chelsea, we understand that, again, fire officials saying they really tried to evacuate kind of that area because, of course, they get on scene. They don't know exactly what's going on. Are there some people in that area who say cannot get back into their apartment building, their condo complexes, or maybe even their offices?
Yeah, there are several. We're working to get the name of that nearby apartment complex. I think it's just right up the street here to the left of this building, but firefighters said they had to evacuate that building to make sure no one else gets hurt. So there are several people now that are starting to come home from work or wherever they may have been that are just kind of standing around here near this taped off area, and we're going to try to speak with those folks in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah. And, you know, as you pointed out, there's a huge traffic impact, and officials are advising folks to just stay away, give them room to do their work. Still a lot of investigation underway and a lot to be done to secure the area to make sure it's safe for everyone. How are people reacting? You know, people, passersby, people who maybe live and work in that area. Have you gotten to talk to anybody?
Yeah, it's definitely scary. There was a woman speaking with a firefighter right next to us. I think she was concerned something worse and more violent may have happened, but she isn't able to get into her home right now. So now people are just trying to figure out what to do, where to go to stay safe. Definitely alarming to come home and see this scene right outside of your window.
And certainly alarming, Chelsea, for people. As we know, less than 3 weeks ago, we had the incident of the mass shooting in Midtown Atlanta, and for so many to kind of drive through or come to a roadblock where they can't get through, to really be concerned about what's going on in Midtown. Once again, they may be blocked from, you know, going to lunch or going to their office or going back to their home and feeling like, what's happening here? So I'm sure a lot of them feeling like, okay, no, not again. Something happening in Midtown.
Yeah, certainly. We were talking about that on our way over to the scene. We said we've seen fires on this street. We've seen a mass shooting in the last few weeks. Then we saw another shooting just last week, I think it was. And now this big scene here in the middle of Midtown where there's been a partial building collapse. So certainly Midtown has taken a lot of heat over the last couple of weeks. And yes, like you said, some residents showing up and just really worried about what's going on now.
Chelsea, this is sort of an odd question, but I'm just curious, you know, because initially, right, this came in as a fire call, right? Because what was seen appeared to be smoke to the caller, but it wasn't smoke. We now know it was construction debris. So we know that they're part of the building collapse, that part of the crane, you know, collapsed as well. Does it smell like anything? Is there a smell, I guess is what I'm asking, about of debris, of, you know, equipment malfunction. You know how there's a smell sometimes when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, we don't for where we are, but I will say we know the partial collapse was on the other side of this building on Spring Street. The fire department asked us to come over here for our safety to the corner of West Midtown, West Peachtree and 11th. So from where we're standing, we're not seeing any of the debris, smelling anything, but I believe we have another crew that's heading to the other side of the building. So we'll try to get you some updated information and pictures from that side of the collapse.
Right, Chelsea, and what we can see, you can't see it from your vantage point, unfortunately, but we have kind of an overhead camera where we can see the bottom of that crane and some of that debris in the middle of that building there. And we do have another crew. That's from our drone that you can see that video there. We do have another crew headed to the scene. Atlanta News First Tori Cooper, she is headed there in Midtown Atlanta. She will, of course, give us some more information from another perspective on that collapse. Again, 4 people taken to the hospital, minor injuries. Stay with Atlanta News First. We will continue our coverage next at 4.